Going to be moderating this entire session for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Rusty Tracy, our VP for Creative Operation, Mikros Animation. All right, Rusty, would you want to introduce your entire team, or do you want me to do that?
Hello. There we go. Awesome. Well, why don't you guys come on stage and I'll introduce you once you're standing up on here. But thank you guys, everyone, for making this possible. Here we are. So thank you guys for joining. We know that it's not typical for a single studio to be able to take the stage like this, but these guys have been working really, really hard for a long time, and due to the pandemic and everything else that's happened in the last 3.5 years, we really haven't had an opportunity to come out and tell you who we are. So many of you guys probably know this group is former Technicolor Animation and Games. Now these fine artists are part of the Mikros team, so we operate out of Bangalore, Paris, and Montreal, with the idea, as mentioned earlier, that it is a global one studio. What we try to aim for is to put projects where creators can most easily access the talent they want to work with, the specialty of the talent, and whatnot. So I think we became Mikros in about 2021, if that sounds about right. What a time to start and merge a company during the pandemic. Don't ask me who made that decision, but it was made. But we do some awesome work. You guys just saw the Hanuman content that was up there. Our team did amazing work pushing that through. We do episodic, we do feature, we do 360. Just within the last year, the team has delivered designs for pre-production, which is pretty uncalled for episodic series. Usually that's something that we get from the clients in Los Angeles. Just finished up visual development on another feature film. Completed a few, so some really cool stuff. But not to take any time away from these fine folks. So first we have on the stage Namia. Can you raise your hand, please? There, wonderful. So she originally started her career as a software engineer and is now an amazing modeler with our teams and has worked in our feature group. She also has an amazing talent for singing. And after she retires from her artistic career, she has an ambition to do the longest held Tibetan monk throat singing note in Bangalore. We have Anju on stage as well. Anju is a texturing supervisor who's worked with us on multiple projects. 15 years with Technicolor. Way to go. That's pretty awesome. She also has a passion for fine art as well as for cooking. She's challenged Gordon Ramsay to a cook-off, but he has yet to reply to the challenge, so let us know how that turns out. Babalu, our CG supervisor. Babalu's pretty impressive and awesome. He, if there's any CG soups in the group here, he helps fix everybody's problems, and there's a lot of them constantly. Thank you for sticking around with us. He also has a special talent. He is known as the Elvis of Southern Karnataka. He has a silky smooth voice, and thank you for being on the stage here. Parthaban is also part of the team. Parthaban, amazing work. I do need to throw another plug in there. We have a movie coming out, 2 of them actually, on Friday, Tiger's Apprentice and Orion in the Dark. Parthaban did amazing work on Orion in the Dark. Really, just fantastic stuff. 17 years of experience. That could date you if they do the math. Parthaban does amazing stuff. Thank you for being on the stage here. Mahi, where's Mahi? Mahi is making sure that I'm keeping on task. He's our producer for our features department. Done great stuff, internal work, working, we'll get to it in the questions, but, doing work splits with Montreal and Paris and somehow learning how to manage that, pretty impressive. We have Leon Christian, our head of creative operations for the feature group. Leon and I met but didn't meet each other about 20 years ago in New Zealand, and here we are working together. Without Leon's guidance of helping put everything together, figuring out how the heck we do features, we wouldn't be here. And we have the very talented Manoj, our creative director, sitting at the end. Really, Manoj is an outstanding creative director in the studio, working with all the teams, making sure that the greatest creative potential is pushed out. He is the epitome of an artist and has amazing hair that I'm very, very jealous of. And not last, not least, we have Mr. Pradeep, who is our head of department for rigging. He is a chatterbox, so if you corner him, be prepared to be in conversation for extensive time. Mr. Kaushik Bose, who is our head of look development. This is a newer department. Previously, Kaushik was head of effects, but now that we've gotten into the world of visual development, particularly with film, it's made us realize that it's a completely different beast that doesn't follow the typical time frames and standards that you would use on episodic work. So welcome to the stage. And Mr. Rubal Das, our animation supervisor. I think he already knows what I'm going to say about him. I won't. I'll keep that joke between us. But Rubal is absolutely amazing. You have multiple features under your belt. Pretty crazy. How many? 2, 3, 4 within 2.5 years' time? Yeah, wild. Pretty crazy. But here is the team. So round of applause for these talented folks. I hope that they have some great insight for you. So real quick, before we get into the meat of this, why is this topic important more than just, showcasing Mikros and it's cool and everything? Because if you were in the panel that I was a part of earlier, it's really important to me for everybody to understand the position that Bangalore, India itself, especially with features, is in right now. We as a group went from doing no features to working on 4 features in the span of 2.5 years. It happened like that. And everything that we see in the future, there's tons more potential. And as I mentioned earlier, we're just not at a point with the freshers coming out of school to have the talent to be able to capacitate for all the studios. We want more than anything for ourselves and all, the neighboring studios all throughout India to be able to have the opportunity to do all this work without, having to poke and prick and take talent from everywhere. It would be such a great opportunity to where the talent, is following the projects that they want to work on to have a good, sustainable environment here. So for me, that's a big, big thing. And most importantly, though, for these guys to give you insight because, we've been in the episodic game for so long, there were some big adjustments that had to be made in order to get these projects out. And with Orion in the Dark in particular being the first end-to-end feature that this team has done, it's pretty impressive. So, lots of interesting things that come with that. So, why don't we get started? And I know I told you guys I was not going to point anyone out specifically, but let's see. Manoj, how closely did you get to work, and the team, with the directors and creative talent from the client side?
I would answer. First of all, Gafix, hi. It's wonderful to have you guys. If you haven't seen the trailer of Orion in the Dark, please watch it. On Netflix. February 2nd, it's going to be a blast. So starting with Orion, I'd like to tip off by saying that this was a new beginning.
I was going to wait till later, but should we go ahead and kick that off now?
Yes.
All right, so let's look at some cool stuff. So some of the films that we've worked on in the past 2 years and have delivered, 2 of them being this Friday, are Thelma the Unicorn, Ozzy the Voice of the Forest, Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie, Tiger's Apprentice, and Orion in the Dark. And if we could roll the tape, please, that would be great.
It had to be me, keeping up the blame, turning out to be someone who's trapped inside your hands. It had to be me, falling down again, falling down on my knees. Hold on, let's start this all again. For the rest of my days, I'll be calling your name. For the rest of my days, I'll be feeling the same. For the rest of my days, I'll be calling your name. For the rest of my days, I'll be feeling the same. For the rest of my days, your name. The rest of my days, calling your name. The rest of my days, your name. The rest of my days, calling your name. The rest of my days. It had to be
Not too shabby. Pretty good. Okay. Manoj, back to you. Experience, directors, creative talent with the clients, how much accessibility did the team have, and what was that like? What does one need to be prepared for with working with such large, demanding personalities?
Thanks, Rusty. That's a wonderful question. In fact, I'd like to say when the entire team came from episodic production, and hats off to episodes, that's where the whole animation started. From there, when we moved in the paradigm of feature films, that's a whole different interaction. We have to be extremely collaborative and highly creative at the same time to make sure that what we communicate is what we deliver and we stay within the budgets. I'm going to say it again, stay within the budgets of how we do it. But within the budget, trust me, when we say that, you can always paint a picture within the canvas. Don't think out of the canvas. For us was to make a feature by taking Sean Charmatz, the director's vision, and Tim, who's a production designer. Famous Tim Lamb, if you haven't checked his work, check his work. He's awesome, phenomenally great director. But they come from a lot of 2D background with a lot of visions. Our idea was to make sure that we deliver that. So we communicate constantly how to make this concept that looks 2D into CG. The key is communication. The key is to make sure that we do tests. Words are words, but we have to show proofs. So we make proof of concepts. We make stills, we make movies, we make calisthenics, we make turnouts. We also make color concepts and stills. This is a way of affirming the fact that we can deliver what they really want us to. So communication is the biggest key. And collaboration is the name of the game. If that answers. Leon, you want to tip off?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again, Rusty, for this amazing question. And I think when you're talking about talking with directors directly, I think a big kudos to our supervisors and the leadership team, which is right here, because I don't think it would be possible without us talking to the clients directly and our creative folks talking to their creative folks. As Manoj mentioned, it's just about understanding the requirements. And again, it's about negotiation. It's not about, this is what you got to do. We are partners. When we work with any clients, it's always about partnership. And if we find, we get stuck at a problem, we all work internally, we talk to each other. There's a lot of collaboration and communication that comes into play to solve one single problem, you know. And that has really worked out for us in talking directly with the main director and understanding his or her vision and then putting it, even giving solutions. Maybe we can't try that, but this one. And we have animators and junior artists come up and say, I have an idea, can I pitch it to the director? And it's all open. We are all part of the same game. And believe me, they love it. They love the energy that, you know, us as Indians have when we come up with something new, like a new recipe. They really want to try it out. And you will see from the animatic that we are given and to the final product that what we bring in, it is more spiced up, it's more entertaining, and it's really fun, you know. So I think it's a ball game that we all enjoy working together.
Awesome, thank you. Let's keep with the theme of fun. This is open to anybody. What was the funnest and the most needy departments that you guys worked with? Fun. Like, animators are generally pretty fun, in my opinion. Lighters are kind of needy. Is there any stories you guys want to talk about as part of the process working on the film?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us here. It's great to be in this GAFX panel. Thank you to Mikros and GAFX for hosting us here. Yeah, there was a lot of fun while working in this show, right? For the rigging team especially, the animators are the first client. So that is what I always say in all my discussions with the team. So satisfying their needs is the first and foremost. And I'm super happy that we were able to do it in all these movies, what we saw it over here in the screen, right? So we had a lot of fun, we had a lot of challenges while working on this show, but together as a team, they were all passionate, right? So there were several sleepless nights in this show when we worked on, but the team was so passionate that it wasn't a pain. So we worked together as fun, and a lot of characters in this particular show, there were special characters called entities. Each had its own special functionalities. So bringing them all to life was totally a fun and a collaborative effort. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I would like to just add one more thing, that as animators, we are actors behind the scene. So we always rely and encourage our animators to act out their shots and then go for the animation. So it makes them not just feel the emotions of the character, but also deliver them in the right way. So some animators are not good actors, but we encourage even them to go to the acting room and then act out their shots so that they can feel the emotions before they kind of start animating the shot. Yeah, though this process itself is very, very much fun, because sometimes it's not the right acting. Sometimes they goof up, and the whole process, it's very entertaining. I'm sure some of you have experienced it yourself, but it's super fun in the studio. Thanks.
And Rusty, I would like to add, when we're talking about actors going in the acting room and really doing the actings, the funniest moments are when they try to sing and it's really bad. They try to do a lip sync and it's horrible. Or if they're trying to pretend, a guy trying to pretend as a girl and try to be all girly. So that's when we go and request the female animators to kind of do. So yeah, and those are the most fun videos. When you're having a stressful day, you just look at the acting videos and you will make your day,
I would just like to add one more thing, Leon, related to one of the movie that I worked earlier. It's called Ozzy, and so Ozzy basically is an orangutan who was brought up in an orphanage. So when we pitched one of the shot to the director, he was like, he doesn't look like an orangutan, he's behaving more like a human. So, we did not do it intentionally, but it came out and the animator jumped in. So we basically do our reviews together with the animators, and the animators jumped in, and he was pitching to the director that this orangutan has been raised by humans. So it's very natural that he will take up the mannerisms of the human beings that are raising him. Raising her. So, that thought clicked to the director, and the whole movie we could carry that mannerism, forward. So it's a communication that really helps in building characters, in developing them, in developing their mannerisms. So I think this whole process, as the question Rusty asked, this whole process, it's very fun and entertaining, even for us animators.
Just one incident from my side, because they are talking about the creative part, because I am from a CG side. So as a CG supervisor, while working on the Orion movie, one incident happened. One of my colleagues, after one serious meeting happened and came out, he just asked me, "You are acting like a traffic policeman." First I didn't get it, then I noticed he's telling like everywhere you are going and controlling. So actually we are supporting that. So it's a good part, like what we supported for the team, which all issues comes, we are giving solutions, and we are technology wise we are supporting. So that's a fun thing. Multiple times he asked me, don't act like a traffic police, but then I explained him, because if I didn't act in that way, maybe accidents will come, otherwise blockages will come. So that's my duty to just pass. So that's then it's given a kind of inspiration for me. Okay, something I'm doing good. So that's kind of a lot of fun things happened in that movie, and a lot of things we learned as well.
I just want to add something about Orion. When DreamWorks first showed the artwork, it was a big black slide with just written Orion in the dark, and we're like, what is this movie all about? And then the characters come in, and we're all standing there, and after everything is done, we look at each other like, how are we going to do this? And they said, we want painted colors and we want line art. And like, how? Because, every movie comes with its own style, right? Every movie. So we started with Ozzy. Ozzy is very painterly. And we said, that's the end of it. And then Orion comes in, it's even more painterly. And we had to crack tools to figure out how that style will come in. So the first question is, everyone look at the look dev person, and the look dev looks at Bablu, and we all look at Leon. We all look at each other, but we go and crack it. That's what we did. So, yep. Damya, for you.
Yeah, I majorly work on characters. So when I was working on some of the characters in Orion in the Dark, many of the characters have very long hair and bushy hair. So every time I used to have a character on my monitor, every passerby would come and say, "Are you modeling yourself? Is this the hair? It looks exactly like you." I was called the hair lady of modeling for a long time.
Yeah, my name is Anju, and I'm from Surfacing. So as everybody said, even I had some funny moments in office, like We worked on a character called Dreams, and that was actually a collaborative work with all the departments. And we had to collaborate a lot with other departments, and each and every time I used to get messages or calls from other departments that we want this layer, we want that layer, and we had to provide them, like we have to provide each into different layers and textures, and other departments like FX and comp and lighting also were behind us and they were continuously bugging me to give the layers. And it was fun actually in the studio, and finally we came out with the output, and it's really amazing.
Excellent. I mean, it sounds like collaboration is absolutely essential for all of these pieces to come together. I was hoping for some juicier tales. I remember days and years past where rigging departments were not allowed to be next to the animators because of the feudal wars that happened between them constantly. But you guys sound like you play and get together pretty well. Knowing that collaboration is so important, how important is it to understand in all departments how the budget affects the scope and creative direction of the project? And especially when you're starting a film, when there's not a recipe that's kind of made and handed over to you, I would imagine that you've got to be able to do more than just execute, right? You have to think and plan. Would anyone like to share?
Hello, hi. So definitely the same thing what you mentioned, and in your previous chat, basically that's a tripod thing. Like as a look dev, we have to set that tripod in the ground in such a way like the money, time, and the creativity set in the proper way. So that's the thing. So once we'll get that thing, like how we can fix that thing in first couple of months, so that can set the whole base for the whole project in that way.
Yes, thank you. First of all, being in this GAFFX, thanks for organizing this event, and thanks to Mikros. As Rusty was asking, what are the incidents? Of course, even I want to highlight an incident. And top of it, the collaboration. This is the movie which we have all collaboratively done in a parallel timeline where everything has to be progressed, as well as we are all from an episodic background, which was a predefined setup where we will have to continue throughout for a year. But this was quite a challenge in terms of creative as well as technical, where we'll have to understand the look of the movie itself is a visual style which has a watercolored, painterly look effect. Each and every shot will have a toon line complementing on a 3D environment, and it'll have a painterly brushstroke for the final touch. On top of it, the cloth effects, and another technicality behind is the characters, the entities, which really we spent close to a couple of months there to crack all the characters, the way how we receive the requirement and how it final character is going to look. Manoj, Kaushik, and I would highlight an incident that we have been trying to fine tune and set up the look. The other day, Rusty and Manoj, they've seen one of the final image where everything is fine, but the shadows are not getting the painterly effect. How we are going to achieve it? That's, yes, rightly said. Over the night, our crew members, they've sat, and one of the lead, he cracked it over the night, and next day morning when we came, the painterly effect on the shadow was done. It is both the way that you might get frustrated that still we'll have to get into the level, but it is another perspective always that being dynamic and trying to take each an opportunity as learning perspective of what we are going to achieve and how we are going to adapt the new technologies as well as the methodologies to evolve ourselves, being what we have been done earlier. Otherwise, it is always a wonderful opportunity, experience, as well as this Orion has given us. And the collaborative, yes, from our side, it always looks like a complaint because being in the end of the pipeline, but it was real fun, what works, what doesn't work, and when we get together. And literally, these are all the moments we go through, and when you see the trailer, as a one team, we are very happy, and whatever the experience as well as the challenges what we have overcome, it has given a new level of confidence to adapt these kind of features in the upcoming years, and we are looking forward to it. And that's the perspective change is what, as a team, we have looked into.
Thanks, Bharti. I think when we are discussing on the collaboration and the fun way to getting it, I think this is a, like, I know like this is not orchestrated, but exactly if you see guys, like this is an asset, then rigging, then animation, then effects, then lighting. So like we know, like, okay, we'll sit in that way, but we are so fun and we have spent so much time, it automatically is coming in that way.
I think that's in relation to how much you like, because lighting blames every problem on every other department down the track. For the members of our audience that are still studying, it was always a mystery to me. I really didn't know until I had gotten my first job, and even then it took time to figure out like what the role of a producer is. I would love to hear Mahi from a producer's perspective, but also from one of our creators of what does the producer do to help facilitate?
Thanks, Rusty. It's always a meeting start with what to achieve, how to achieve. It's always a fun if we share our ideas, share our technology while discussing with our partner sites. We share our vision. Our partner studios share their technology and ideas. So it's a collaborative way of achievement. Where this helps to run best technology to fit the budget within the line. So this collaboration really works well, helped well to bring the quality within the line. So that's the strength, I would say. Yep.
So also, I would like to mention that, we talk about collaboration, and some of these clients that come, the directors come, they're probably just good in visualizing and art, right? They do not have too much of knowledge about technology. They would just say, we want to achieve this look, and we'll leave it up to you how you want to do it. There are some people who would say, this is exactly what we want, but that's where we all get to, come along, sit on the table. There's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of decision making that has to, can we do that in post, or is it going to start from modeling? And sometimes it's going to be modeling that's going to be super important. Where can we save? Where can we spend? We also ask the clients, where do you want to really put your focus on? Is it going to be animation? Is it going to be story? Is it going to be acting? Is it going to be the look and feel of it? So there are a lot of aspects that it's just not a decision that we make on our sides or the clients, but it's a constant communication that we are clarifying everything, and it does not finish in one meeting. It is a lot of meetings, but we see a lot of confidence when we talk with clients and we give them the right solutions to kind of move ahead.
Excellent. And I think that's a good point. For anybody on the panel that's managing teams, going from either the first to second to third film, what have you seen as the biggest challenge that the artists themselves have overcome to enable themselves to deliver feature projects now? So for example, whether it be communication, confidence in oneself with their artistic skills. I'd love to know.
Yeah, I think I have worked on 2 movies so far, and I have seen the animators evolve from the first movie to the next. The confidence that they get by delivering the first one is something they can carry forward in the next one. So, I have spent almost 15 years working in episodic, and what I can confidently tell is that in the episodic shows, we have limitations of time, and we have to stick to the animatic very closely because of the restriction of time. But here, animatic is just the starting point. That's the idea that we have to take forward and build from there. So it requires a lot of discussion with the director, like I was sharing earlier, like how the mannerism of a character develops during this discussion. So similarly, we are animating this character for the first time. We don't have any reference, so we have to develop them. And it cannot be done alone by the director or by the supervisor or by the lead. It requires the team effort. We want each and every animator to kind of pitch in, share their ideas. So coming out of the box, coming out of the comfort zone, and not just rely on someone's instruction is very important. So I've seen animators who are very open to share their ideas, but also have somebody who want the supervisor or the lead to take up these kind of questions and answer them. So these evolve with time, with experience. They gain the confidence, and then they are open to sharing their ideas. So I think the most important thing is to open up and talk what you feel, what you are thinking about a character. So, I mean, it's when you share what you are thinking, is your ideas will come out, right? So that's very important, and I think as animators, it's very important for us, and I think it goes the same for other departments as well.
I'd like to add one point to what Rubal mentioned. It's a good thing. Episodes generally come with a set recipe, which means the look has to be decided on one episode and we carry forward the look across, though there might be changes. But for a feature, it's live cooking. You make the recipe, you develop the look, you also make sure that the chef has questions. For example, the director would say, hey, what do you guys think about that acting sequence? Do you think it's a good choice? We encourage our juniors to be as creative as anybody else. That's the main point. That's a classic aspect about Mikros. For us, it's the same. An idea can come from anyone, right? That's what they say. So a good idea, sometimes our juniors give great ideas. Some of our look developments, our juniors give great solutions. There's no junior senior in the group, though I just set an example here. We're the same, we're Mikros. For us, an idea, and if the idea is liked upon, the client would say, hey, I think that's better than mine. Why don't you just do it? And that's the success of all the films we made so far, in fact, I think. Pradeep.
And I would like to add one more thing regarding the collaboration part and the communication part, right? So technology has played a very major role in the recent times, because most of the movies, what you see in this reel, were all collaborated between Mikros, Montreal, Paris, and the Bangalore teams, right? And even within Bangalore teams, some of them were working from home and some of them were working from office. But technology, we were able to file transfer, and virtually we were able to connect. So all these things was because of the technological invention. So that also played a major role in this collaboration part in movies.
And we believe all this three aspect plays the major role. Technician, as in like, for example, the entities we had, dark and the light. How do you light a dark? And how do you light a light? So as in like the particular, what is the requirement, what we have understood from the communication from the DW, and we have been talking to the artist. He was very precise in getting that look, rather than we sit and explain how exactly it need to be done. But the artist, what he has conceived, and the exact requirement, the synchronization with the exact requirement, what is being delivered, that is also plays a key role. Like as Manoj rightly said, we don't see anyone as a junior or senior. The idea which is going to help us to get there is definitely works. The point being is the decision-making aspect of either the particular point is going to help us or not. That's the aspect we all look into as a team.
And talking about new people, joining our company, we had 2 freshers just out of the board, just coming out of the institute, working on a first feature, which is Aussie. And they were so energetic. They would come up with 10 ideas every day, come up with drawings, sketches and all, and then sit with the supervisor, go through them. I think Rubal would have gone through the pain of that, right? But on the serious side, they would come up with a lot of ideas, and then they would say, can I do this, can I do that? And then the supervisor leads would guide them to achieve that right idea, because there is a time factor, and there is, what you can be done, what can be achieved. Does it fit the show, the mood of the shot and stuff? And also, we have this buddy mentor system in our company, for every department, where any junior that just comes in is partnered with a senior, just like a mentor, like a guru. That is always teaching them. They would show the shots to them first before they really show it for a review, either to the client or to the supervisor for reviews. And I think that has really worked out. It's something like a training program going into production. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
So, on the point that Rusty was talking about, how did the artists improve themselves? As an artist, I would like to say that from the point I started my work on Ori and Orion, and then by the end of the movie, I could see a lot of difference in my work. When I see the first character that I actually worked on, I feel that I could have done a much better job now. But seriously, it was really great, and by the end of the movie, I was more confident in asking for more. I was more proactive by the end of the movie, I would say.
Awesome, awesome. So I think our time is coming to a wrap here, but I just have one last question for, I think maybe some folks in the audience might be curious about. So is it possible, are there opportunities for fresh talent to join high-end projects like this? And is there, should they focus on speed? Should they focus on quality? Should they focus on foundations of art? Like what, just as kind of closing remarks, would you guys give as advice to this group here listening to us who may be interested in joining this workforce in the future?
So definitely, like the easiest answer is yes and 100%, because we always, like even we just mentioned, like, okay, in our team, we have almost like 10% is a completely fresher. We have finished the project, and there only we'll get like lots of fresh ideas and out of the box thinking and all those things. So that definitely we encourage. And if we can do one thing, that's the only single thing if it is required. Obviously we need skill, but the foundation, like how exactly each and every foundation works, like, okay, how, if it is saying like about the effects or look, like how behavior of the each and every material or those kind of thing, if we can see, that is the thing we have to focus more only. And definitely we'll go and we'll see that skills, how to gain that thing.
I'll suggest one thing as per my experience, like if you're completing your animation from the institute, so please master the softwares which is commonly used in the studios. You have to master that, and then do a better portfolio. That is one of the best thing. And definitely you have to apply as a fresher, because you have to master the most of the common softwares which is using in the industry. Because after learning, coming out of an institute, it's just a base only. In the production, there is a complete different perspective. So that's why I'm just advising, because that may help you guys. Like each and every software, you have to master it. And if you are going for a specialized department, like instead of a generalist, so at least minimum 1 or 2 you have to specialize it. Because in a production company, instead of generalist will be a very few, but in a specialized peoples are there. So that is the main requirement for a production companies.
I would like to add up on this point, like softwares can be tools, like foundation is always art. So always make sure that your foundation is good. Keep practicing art, like for getting a great animation movie, the foundation is always art. So softwares can help you with creating new things, but foundation is always art. So make sure you practice.
Excellent, excellent. I think they're going to pull us off with a hook here. Yep, they are. So thank you guys for attending this. If you have any questions, please, we'll be around. Come ask us. We'd be more than happy to give answers. And again, I just want to thank these folks, our team members who are in the audience, in the artistic community in India in general, who have achieved and gotten to this point. I think that 5 or 6 years ago it would have been thought as unthinkable, or there was a very small group, and now it is in more demand than ever. And as I had mentioned before, like, it's about building that talent base, because these guys can't work 3 jobs all at once. It's impossible. So thank you guys very much for all of your contributions, and thank you everyone for tolerating and listening to us talk the last half hour. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Could we have a huge round of applause for the team from Mikros Animation? And if I could request the entire team to please remain on stage for the next couple of minutes. And if I could request Ms. Aishwarya Sinha to please do the honors and present a memento from GAFX 2024. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I've known most of these people for a long time. A lot of us actually work on the same floor as well. But it never gets old. The passion, the creativity that they all bring every date on the jobs, and the result of which enthralls audiences all the world over. I really think it deserves another huge round of applause for Team Mikros Animation.
If I could request the entire team to please come forward for the group photograph. Yeah, thank you.